Hi. So this blog is in response to a discussion that's been going on about cued speech in the Illinois School for the Deaf. I think we should change our philosophy. So my friend, Kevin Smith, he graduated from the Illinois School of the Deaf. And it's his opinion that we need to leave cued speech in the school. He thinks it will encourage student enrollment to grow, that they will come back to the deaf schools because the enrollment has been dropping. So he thinks cued speech will encourage people to come back. However, I think that people are missing two very important uh, pieces of information when we talk about this concept. First of all, very common, this has been happening for a long time. People who can hear are making decisions for people who cannot. It's been going on for a long time. And that bothers me a lot. Kevin Smith, how would you feel if white people were making decisions about the curriculum being taught? That would be upsetting. If white people made decisions for all of the whole country, all of the society, deaf people feel the same when hearing people make decisions for them. Deaf people or people who can hear get together and they decide what's best for the deaf community. That's what's happening at the deaf school in Illinois. And honestly, cute speech hasn't been shown to have a lot of benefit. But we know that ASL is very successful. It's clear. And yet we don't use it. So, the second point that people are missing. ASL, or any language really, any other spoken language, can be broken down into two categories. So in ASL, it can be broken down into academic ASL or social ASL. Same with English. So understand, if we're talking about academic language, we're talking about something that would be used in a classroom. It has structure to it and rules to follow. If we're talking about social language, we're talking about language being used outside of the classroom. If you're just socializing in the lunchroom or posting something on Facebook. So back to academic language means you're sitting down. In English, we're talking about nouns and verbs and structures of different sentences. In social English, if you're texting or sending an email, writing a letter, it's it's not as formal. It's just the natural way that everyone speaks. It doesn't have the same structure as academic. So I want to ask you, does ASL have a structured way to learn the formal ASL? Do us, the people in the deaf community, have a way to formally learn that? No, we really don't. We don't have a way for students to sit down and be taught academic ASL. So you'll notice that many people who are learning ASL make lots of mistakes. For example, saying or signing, here's my first name, here's my last name. It's so irritating. It's hard on the eyes. Or I have 4 cars with my palm facing away from my body. Or 3 kids. It just looks wrong. There's a rule about numbers. Your palm should be facing towards you. In those situations where your palm can face away, if you're giving an address or a phone number, if I'm giving you information, then my palm can be facing away from me. But if I'm telling you the amount of things, it needs to face towards you. Another example, if we're talking about a football game and my team totally destroyed the other team, 49-0. Whoa. Man, or if there was a really close game and it was 21-20. you need to include your facial expressions. That's the rule. If I don't, then it sounds like my team destroyed the other team. There's no emotion to it. It's hard to understand. You're also going to notice people are going to shift their body to show different people speaking, and that's important too. So that's expressive signing, and there's also rules for receptive signing. When I'm teaching my students, I try to expose them to lots of different signing styles so they can get used to them. When I bring in a new person that they've never seen sign before, it really throws them off, and they need to continue to practice watching this new person signing. Okay, so I've just gone into depth about all the rules with academic ASL, and English is the same. They have lots of rules. But the point I'm trying to make is that when we use cued speech, that is a decision being made by people who can hear. They are deciding what is best for the deaf community. And if they would just ask the deaf community, they would hear us say, hey, we want ASL. That's what's best for us. And then they could support that. But if we're talking to parents, they feel scared and they get told that cued speech is what's best. I was at a meeting last week and a woman said that she was told that ASL is a crutch for kids. That's just not true. That's made up information. So I don't want to discuss this anymore. ASL, academic ASL, is equal to English. And I want to focus on the kids. Kids need to learn more academic ASL. If they have a good foundation of academic ASL, they'll be able to transition to English more easily in their adult life. Cued speech is under the umbrella of English. It's not its own language. It is a tool. So we can discuss the benefits of it, but that's not what's important because it's not a language. ASL is what the kids are going to be using for the rest of their lives. I see many, many people who grew up learning cued speech or learning an oral method, and they wish they had an ASL foundation. Kevin Smith, you are lucky that you grew up in a school that taught you ASL. Look at you. You can blog, you can transition between English and ASL. It's a privilege for you, but not everyone has that. So my point is that I really think Illinois School for the Deaf needs to focus on teaching kids formal ASL. Not just that school, but schools everywhere. No. I know I've been a little long-winded, but many people do not realize that ASL is a very sophisticated language. In many ways, it can beat ASL. In ASL, or it can, ASL is a very sophisticated language. In many ways, it's even better than English. In ASL, we can talk about two things at once. I can talk about a car with one hand and a motorcycle with the other. Can't do that with English. So I hope this conversation continues. Thank you.